All right, I made it. Piney Creek Wilderness. This is the North Trail Tower Loop, which I think generally runs north-south. And I'm at the trailhead at the north end, and it is spectacular out here. So today is nice. It's like, I think it's like 50, mid 50s. Very slight breeze, sunny. Eating lunch, my peanut butter jelly sandwich, and I'm getting ready to hit the trail. So I got about, let's see, what time is it? It's 1 o'clock. And so it's about 4 hours till sunset. 4.5 hours until it gets sort of like dark enough to where you have a hard time seeing. So I have a couple of places plotted out on the map that I'm going to try. One place that I know is a campsite because I've been there before. That's a really cool spot, but I want to try to get this other spot that I discovered last time. So hopefully I won't run into anybody. I doubt it. There is another car here in the trailhead parking area. So there's at least somebody else down there doing the weekend getaway. What else I got? I guess that's about it. I'm just gonna make some videos as I go along, take some pictures, enjoy nature, and I was gonna say enjoy the silence, but the sounds of nature, the calmness that comes with being out here. We'll see how tomorrow goes because, like I said, it's forecast to rain. I haven't checked to see what tomorrow's forecast is. Fortunately, we're high up enough here that we get cell service, so I can check it real fast before I hit the trail. And I didn't forget anything, so that's good. So far, everything is according to plan. Always subject to change. That's the great thing about backpacking. It's always an adventure. You always have to keep your wits about you, be ready for anything. Weather turning on you. That's why I kind of like to be close to my car. So if I have to get out because of bad weather, then I don't have too far to get to my car. All right, so that's it. That is that. I'll see you. Peace. So my phone is tied up to a tree with a piece of paracord. All right, so this is me. That first day, first time like trying to make a video, like trying to make like maybe a somewhat for real video. I gotta fix my hair. So I'm at the top of this. Well, maybe it's a mountain. So it's only about 1,200 feet up, elevation wise. So down here in the Ozarks, these mountains aren't terribly tall. It's more like a big hill. It's still tough hiking up these little hills, but anyway, that's where I'm at. It is 3:40, and because of the time of year, late November, sun is going down, and it will be dark. Well, sunset is I think 5 o'clock. And Piney Creek Wilderness I love it, but it is treacherous. Oh man, it is rough. It's like it makes you want to not like it. It's just loose rocks, and loose rocks, and rocks. I mentioned the rocks. A lot of rocks here. A lot of loose rocks that you can trip on and roll your ankle on, which I've done almost a couple of times. But I did mention that I bought, and I was going to bring trekking poles. This is all, I keep wanting to call it Alpine something or other, but anyways, Ozark Trail from Walmart. Well, 20 bucks. I got my money's worth already. I was hiking along, and there was a tree branch across the path. Stepped over it with the first foot. Second foot didn't get up high enough, and so I started to trip and started to fall forward. I tell you, if I didn't have these two things, yeah, I probably would have face planted and it probably would have been game over. So, did a little cursing, and I got over it, and then I made my way up here. I mean, I leaned into it with my full pack, which is about 30, what did I say, 32, 35 pounds, because I had all the water on it. So I don't know how much pounds of pressure I put on these two things, but there you go, 20 bucks, did its job. And so far I kind of like them. I like trekking poles. So here I'm going to set up my Kelty one-person tent. And so I found me a little spot. It took me a little while to find one. It's kind of rocky up here. Did I mention there's some rocks here in Piney Creek? Anyway, I found actually a nice moss-covered patch of ground, which was probably a rock underneath it. I like it up here, and I'm thinking it'll just be me because this trail that I found is not on the Forest Service map. It's not on Gaia GPS. Maybe it's on some other maps, but so here's me setting up my tent. Oh, you know what? Before I set my tent up, I used my stake bag to make my bear hang. Maybe I should do that. Find me a place to hang up my food. So I'll pause and I'll come back. That was interesting. Found me a good, perfect spot over there. Threw it up. It was a good toss. I got greedy. Pulled it down. Then I stepped screwing it up. Almost got this thing stuck up there. Kept tossing it. And it came loose. Bag opened up. I thought I lost a stake, but I did recover it. So anyway, always an adventure. So it's kind of like finding a camping a spot to pitch your tent. I really have a hard time with that sometimes. I got to be like perfect. Gotta be a perfect angle. You know, I can't be like pitched over the side, but I just got to get caught up in my head with it. I definitely am challenged with that. Boy, it's starting to get a little chilly. All I got is just this shirt on. I had to strip it down because I was getting hot. So I think it's time to put another shirt on. There we go. You like that? A nice shot of my head. And I get my fleece. Okay, I did a lot of talking about my clothes and what they're made of, and I don't know, I would say polyester, nylon. I don't even know what the hell I said. So this is actually made out of, this is original weatherproof vintage. Got it from Costco. 63%, 62 polyester, rayon, a little bit of spandex. So there you go. Authentic. I think this is all polyester. All right. This thing is super warm. I love this. Thing. Goes up high. Whoops. A nice, nice little neck collar there. All right. Well, I got 3 of my stakes in. When you watch it, you might be like, you know, do I really need the stakes? But I have found if you don't stake it down when you try to get the poles in, they flop and it's weird. But if the ground is, if the bottom of the tent is stable with stakes, then you're going to get the poles up a hell of a lot easier. So we're going to say this is on top of a rock. So I was able to get the other 3 stakes in, but this 4th one I couldn't. And I usually crawl inside it just to kind of double check to make sure. One, I like to see if there's any sticks or rocks that might poke through, so I can grab them and pull them out. So yeah, that's what I do next. Sweet. You definitely, if you're using a homemade footprint, you definitely got to make sure none of it's poking out the bottom. Last time, or one of my other trips, it started raining at night. I was expecting it. Woke up, I was like, "This is great." It was actually one of the first times I used this tent. I'm all dry, everything's great. I got out, started packing my stuff up, puddle of water. I'm like, what the hell? And I walked around, and I shit you not. I swear, a corner of the tarp, the footprint was sticking out, and I got water in my tent. Fortunately, it was underneath my air mattress, and it was underneath my sleep system. My sleeping bag didn't get wet. But so if you think if you can see it, so I have it cut to where when it fits up underneath it perfectly, you can't see it from the outside. My suggestion is if you do it that way, if you can see it, keep adjusting until you can't see it on all four sides. All right, and then the rain fly. I'm kind of trying to decide if I want to put the rain fly up. It might rain tonight, but I might. I've been talking about putting the tarp up. I've got enough of paracord to run from the tree that this phone is tied to. Actually, yeah, that tree leaning over right there. I think I got enough for sure. Oh yeah, we got a nice little hair poking out. But I'll put the rain fly on anyway. What I like to do if I know it's not going to rain, or even if there's a very real possibility, I attach it and then I just flop it off. So if in the middle of the night it starts raining, I can just jump up, swing it over, and tie it down. It only takes like 2 minutes. Okay. Rain fly, another reason good about this. So, you got your four straps with clips. One of them is blue. You just match the blue up with the blue one right down there. There you go. Easy peasy. Don't watch, I'll probably still screw it up. As you probably noticed, it comes with guy lines attached. I think I've never really been camping when it's really windy. I think it's supposed to help for stabilization, but I think it also helps stretch it out to improve airflow. That's a Kelty late start, one person tent. There. I love this tent, as I have mentioned a few times. There. Also talked about, I like putting my stuff on a tarp. I learned this, or I got this idea from Boy Scouts. So when you're unloading your pack, you just kind of dump everything on here. So, stuff's going to get dirty. Yeah, I get it. But anyway, it just keeps it from getting excessively dirty. So that's that. I actually need to take a leak. So I will sign off. But before I do, I will say right now it's beautiful. Really glad I came out. I love being outdoors. And the trekking poles have... I can tell the difference. I think my back can feel the difference. Not necessarily in a good way, because I think my back's used to me leaning on one side with a hiking stick. It definitely encourages or forces you to stand up straighter, and that's probably where the benefit goes. And those of you that have trekking poles and use them, you probably knew this. And you're like, yeah, duh. I didn't know. I didn't look into it. But that's what I noticed. I stand more upright when I'm hiking with those trekking poles. So, and they're fairly lightweight. I don't feel like, I'm on a 3-hour bicep curl using them. So far, good trip, and I'm going to finish with my campsite. Maybe even get a fire started. So it hasn't, I think it rained yesterday, but I think some of this wood out here might be dry enough I can get a fire going. That would be pretty cool because the sun is starting to set. There it is. There's, I don't know if you can really see it through here, but that's the ridge of the little mountain area. So it's about to pass over the side of that ridge. So this is my home for the night. And just like Crowder State Park, which is northern Missouri. Southern Missouri is kind of the same, but Piney Creek, I guess it gets its name in part from all the pine trees. There's definitely a lot of pine trees up here. And but the different kind of pine trees that I'm used to from Atlanta. I grew up in Atlanta. Atlanta had the pine trees with the really long needles, the kind that when you burn, it would produce this very distinct smell and this white smoke, and it was highly flammable. And I may have spent some time in the woods lighting pine needles on fire. I mean, what good boy wouldn't do that? Play with fire. All right. It's a good thing I didn't burn any forest down. So that's that. Let's see what tomorrow looks like.